Hi class, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we had reached the final chapter for organizational behavior, which is chapter 14, stress and emotion. So there are several learning outcomes to be achieved by today, inshallah. So at the end of this chapter, student must be able to define and describe the nature of stress, identify and describe the common causes and sources of stress, discuss the consequences of stress and explain the relationship between stress levels and job performance, describe the different ways to manage stress, define and describe the nature of emotions and moods, describe emotional labor, describe emotional intelligence. Okay. So what is stress? Okay, stress is a dynamic condition in which an individual is confronted with an opportunity, a demand or a resource related to what the individual desires and for which the outcome is perceived to be both uncertain and important. Okay, so basically that is stress is not necessarily bad for us. Okay, in other words, it can be different effect, positive or negative. Okay, positive type of stress we call it as eustress, whereby negative effect of stress we call it as distress. Okay, can lead to mental and physical illnesses. Okay, for the distress. So causes and sources of stress. Okay, causes and sources of stress. Okay, divided into four categories. Okay, which are environmental factors, organizational factors, individual factors. Okay, so environmental factors, organizational factors, individual factors. Okay, so they are divided into, and also individual factors. There are four types of um, stress. Okay, so now let's take a look one by one. So for example, environmental factors is uncertainty in an organization structure may influence the stress levels of employees in the organization. This is one of the changes that may occur in an organization, and difficulty among the employees in adapting to such changes could result in stress. So any changes happening, okay, in the company will lead to the employees stress. Okay, so because employees are trying to adapt with the situation and with the environment, okay, of change. Okay, so other environmental factors that cause stress are economic uncertainty, political uncertainty and technological uncertainty. Okay, let's take a look the economic uncertainty. So every organization's success is influenced by the economic situation of a country. So an economic situation may be either stable or unstable. When a country faces economic turmoil, for example, an organization will be affected. It may not be able to provide its employee with job security, thus causing the employees to worry and feel stressed. So for example, now Malaysia are facing with the economic uncertainty. So so many people has faced layoff. Okay, so facing unemployment. So it become stress to the employees. Okay, because they are worried about their job security. Okay, next is political uncertainty. Okay, uncertainty caused by political instability can affect the citizen of particular country. For instance, Malaysia has a stable government where policies are implemented in orderly manner. Thus, Malaysians do not feel as much stress as the citizen of other countries which may not be as stable politically. But currently, Malaysia are facing the political crisis. Okay, facing the political crisis. So by watching the political events, okay, in the news daily, we feel stress, okay, because we feel uncertainty on our political conditions in Malaysia. Okay, technological uncertainty. Employee nowadays need to be equipped with the latest skills in order to keep up with the rapid changes of the technology. Okay, failing to do so, okay, failing to do so cause them to be left behind. So they maybe feel threatened as their skill become obsolete and their jobs are being taken over by computers, robotics, automation, AI and so on. Okay, so next is organizational factors. Okay, so organizational factors, there are some organizational factors that leads to stress include, okay, task demand. Task demand refers to the factors related to a person's job. Sometimes a person's tasks are too much, causing the employees to feel a burden. Okay, so task demands, for instance, an employee who is required to perform a variety of tasks on a single capacity would find an increase in anxiety and stress. Okay, next is role demand. Role demand is, this factor is related to the pressure placed on a person for a particular role he or she is playing. Stress comes from role conflict, that is inconsistent expectation from other people towards a person role which are hard to fulfill. There are several types of role conflict that are causing stress among employees in an organization, which are role ambiguity and role overload. For example, role ambiguity, when there is lot of uncertainty surrounding job definition or job expectation. People experience role ambiguity. With the recent increase in mergers and acquisition among major organizations, more and more employees are experiencing job stress as a result of role ambiguity because they don't know what their role, okay, their position, their role, okay, in that particular position. What should they do? Okay, next is role overload. It's a situation in which employees feel they are being asked to do more than time or ability permits. Working under time pressure is especially stressful. So many deadlines to be achieved, so many deadline to be made, so it become role overload. Okay, next is interpersonal demand, refer to the relationship among employees in an organization. Pressure created by other employees, lack of social support from colleagues, poor relationship are all leading to stress. For example, an employee who is not having a good relationship with a superior tends to experience stress, for it is hard to complete and assign tasks without good relationship. Okay, so next we go to the individual factors or individual differences. Okay, so okay, individual differences, individual factors. Sorry, we go to the individual factors. First is family problem. Okay, argument in the family are common. Okay, argument between spouses, between siblings, between parents. Okay, so it may lead to the stress. And economic problem, financial problem. Okay, maybe can become a major source of stress. Okay, personality, it may experts say a person's personality can be the cause of stress. For example, certain characteristics that we develop over the years can increase our stress level, while we cannot change our personality overnight. It is possible to adjust certain habits to lessen stress level. Maybe we are so competitive, okay, and we put a pressure on ourselves, okay, in order to achieve those target or those our aims, okay. So it becomes stress when we cannot handle it anymore. Okay, next is individual differences. Okay, for example, is perception. It's a process of interpreting the environment. The way people interpret the same environment differ from one to another. The different interpretation may also influence the stress level of a person. For example, one employee who perceives that the recruitment of a new employee is a threat to his or her job security may experience a high level of stress compared to another employee who takes that situation as an opportunity to compete and show fullest ability. So those are perception. Next is job experience, also moderates the relationship. Research has shown that a person with a lot of experience tend to have lower level of stress compared to a person with relatively little experience. So people with experience are more likely to have less stress than people who have no experience at all. For example, fresh graduates. Okay, next is personality, type A, type B personality. Okay, type A and individual are described as ambitious, highly status conscious, proactive, truthful and helpful. schedules. Okay, adversely, they can also be rigidly organized, sensitive, and impatient. At work, they are often high-achieving workaholic who tend to take on more responsibility than is manageable. They multitask, strive on deadlines, obsess about time management, hate delays and inconsistency, and want others to get to the point. Type individuals thus experience high level of stress, whereby type B personality individual are the opposite of type A. Okay, type B individuals typically work at steady pace, thus enjoying achievement without being stressed out if they are not achieved. When faced with competition, they do not mind losing and will either enjoy the game or withdraw from the game. They may be creative and enjoy exploring ideas and concepts. They are also often reflective, thinking about the outer and inner worlds. Type B individuals generally lead less stressful lives. They are known to be calm and relaxed. Okay. So what are the consequences of stress? Okay, they are divided into three categories, into three symptoms, which are physiological symptoms, psychological symptoms, and behavioral symptoms. Okay, now let's take a look the physiological symptoms. Okay, physiological symptoms are those manifested physically. Stress affect health, thus give impact on the whole activity of a person. Okay, when a person is under stress due to some factors, his or her mind will keep thinking about the problem. This will result in headache, high blood pressure, and heart disease. These are all the health problems that stem from stress. Okay, next is psychological symptoms. Okay, psychological symptoms, okay, the impact of stress related to a person's mind. Due to stress, people feel anxiety and depressed. A decrease in job satisfaction is also a psychological symptom of stress. Okay, next is behavioral symptom. Behavioral symptom is related to stress symptom are those that affect the behavior of employees, which includes low productivity, high absenteeism and turnover, as well as changes in eating habit, increased smoking, sleep disorders, and depression. Okay, what are the relationship between stress and levels of performance? Okay, as you can read right here, with low level of stress, employee experience boredom and their performance is poor. With high level of stress, employees are overwhelmed and not able to commit to tasks. Thus, they also display poor performance. When the level of stress is moderate, employee display good performance. Those are the relationship between stress levels and job performance. Okay, and how to manage a stress? Okay, how to manage a stress? For example, now first let's take a look the individual way. Okay, individual approach how to manage a stress. So the method to reduce stress may include implementing proper time management technique, increasing physical exercise, providing relaxation training, expanding social networks. So right now the awareness on the stress, on the anxiety, on the depression, okay, or already rise up in Malaysia. Okay, so therefore some of the television networks, okay, already promote how to manage how to manage the method how to manage and how to reduce stress. Okay, so by increasing physical exercise, providing relaxation training, expanding social network, talk to other friends, okay, try to socialize with families and friends, try to communicate with a person you trust. Okay, so organizational approach, ensuring appropriate personnel selection and job placement, providing training, setting realistic goals, okay, so that the pressure of the job will decrease and moderate or decrease, so that the employees will perform better. Redesigning jobs and increasing employee involvement, improving communication, allowing employee sabbaticals, implementing corporate wellness programs. This is very important, okay, in order to cater the mental health problems. Okay, so the organization should, provide some wellness program regarding to how to manage stress. conducting stress auditing, encouraging lifestyle modification program. Okay, so nature of emotion and moods. Okay, affect, a term that encompasses a broad range of feeling that people experience. Emotion, intense feeling that are directed at a person or thing and triggered by an object, while moods, okay, are feelings that tend to be less intense than emotion and often lack contextual stimulus. Okay, what are the sources of information, sources of emotion and moods? Okay, first are personality. Okay, each of the individual have different personality, therefore they are naturally differ in how intensely they experience the same emotion. While a person may be angry towards something, others might feel nothing about it. Next is weather. Okay, many people believe that weather can influence their emotion and moods. Okay, people believe that they have a better mood in good weather. Stress. Okay, stress, mounting level of stress at work can worsen a person's mood and tend to experience negative emotion. For instance, being scolded by a boss for not meeting a monthly target, meeting a few deadlines, and many more may cause a person to experience a high level of stress, and it takes a toll on mood. Next is social activities. Okay, for most people, social activities which include hanging out with friends may increase positive mood. Research suggested that informal social activities such as cycling with friends and going to party are positively related to good mood rather than formal ones. Sleep. Okay, when people get enough sleep, they tend to have a better mood compared to those who are sleep deprived. Okay. Next is exercise. Regular exercise enhances positive emotion than older. Regular exercise enhances positive mood. Exercises help to reduce stress. When people are in a state of stress-free, their moods will be better. Age. Do younger people experience more positive emotion than older people? The truth is, when people get older, they have more emotional stability. So older people are more likely to have positive emotion and moods than younger ones. Next is gender. Research found that women are more emotional than men. They experience emotion more intensely and hold on to emotion longer than men. Okay, so emotional labor. Okay, emotional labor is an employee expression of organizationally desired emotion during interpersonal transaction at work. Emotional labor is governed by display rules, which are divided into feeling rules and expression rules. Feeling rules dictate appropriate and inappropriate feelings for particular settings. Okay, for example, managers are supposed to feel angry, not to feel happy when employees made a mistake, or lecturers are expected to be passionate when they teach classes, not to be bored. Expression rules dictate what emotions should be expressed and how they should be expressed in particular setting. For example, managers are expected to be angry via their facial expression and tone of voice, but are not expected to jump up and down to express the feeling. Next is emotional dissonance. Occurs when employees are expected to express feeling that contradict what they actually feel. Okay, what they actually feel. For example, a customer service officer is expected to be pleasant and helpful after having a bad experience with a difficult customer. Emotional dissonance is known to be one of the cause of stress to employees. Okay, emotional intelligence. EI refers to the ability of individual to recognize their own emotion and that of others for the purpose of discriminating between different emotion and labeling them appropriately, using emotional information to guide thinking and behavior, managing and or adjusting emotion to adapt to environment or achieve goals. Okay, what are the components of EI? Self-awareness, the ability to recognize and understand personal moods, emotion and drive, as well as their effect on others. In other words, it depends in one's ability to monitor one's own emotion and to correctly identify and name one's emotion. Examples of self-awareness include self-confidence, realistic self-assessment, and a self-depreciating sense of humor. Self-regulation, the ability to control or redirect destructive impulses and moods, and being able to suspend judgment and think before acting. Example of self-regulation include openness to change, trustworthiness and integrity, and being comfortable with ambiguity. Internal motivation, this refers to a passion to work for internal reason that go beyond external rewards. What is external reward? Such as money, status, promotion, and etc. This passion originates from an inner vision of what is important in life, a joy in doing something, a flow that comes with being immersed, with being immersed in activity, or the curiosity to learn. Example of internal motivation include organizational commitment, optimism despite failure, and drive for accomplishment. Next is empathy, the ability to understand the emotional makeup of others. It can also be considered a skill in treating people according to their emotional reaction. Finally, social skills, the ability and proficiency in building networks and managing relationships, as well as the ability to find common ground and build rapport with others. So those are the components of EI, 5 components of EI, which are self-awareness, self-regulation, internal motivation, empathy, and social skills. Okay, so that's all for the final chapter, chapter 14, stress and emotion. I really hope that you will make some revision of this chapter. Inshallah, we'll give you the test, okay, on Friday, inshallah. Okay, so anything, just refer to the Google Classroom, or you can freely text me if you do not understand in any chapter we already learned, okay, on our previous chapters. Okay, you are free to text me. Okay, that's all for our class today. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.